I'm 24 now, but this happened shortly after I graduated college. A few months after finishing school, I landed a job at my old high school, helping maintain the school's computer network and technology systems. It wasn't exactly glamorous work, but I was happy to have it. The pay was decent, and several of my former teachers had recommended me for the position. Most of my work took place in the lower level of the building. Calling it a basement would be generous. It was more like a maze of storage rooms, maintenance closets, and utility corridors that most students never even knew existed. Tucked away down, there was a small technology office that I shared with two other employees, Ryan and Mark. Compared to the rest of the basement, our office was actually pretty nice. There were a few desks, a refrigerator, a couch, and enough air conditioning to make the place feel like a luxury compared to the classrooms upstairs. One afternoon, I was eating lunch alone in the office while Ryan and Mark were working elsewhere in the building. Everything was normal until my desk phone rang. The call came from the administration office. The secretary sounded nervous. She informed me that the school had been placed under an immediate lockdown due to a possible threat inside the building. Before I could ask any questions, she simply told me to stay where I was and keep quiet. Then the call ended. The basement suddenly felt much larger than usual. I turned off the lights and shut down my monitor. The office had one major flaw. There wasn't an actual door, just a wide opening leading into the room. Even worse, the main basement entrance didn't lock properly. I remember thinking how useless my hiding spot really was. Still, there wasn't much else I could do. I sat quietly in the darkness and waited. I texted both Ryan and Mark asking what was happening upstairs. Neither responded. Minutes crawled by. I played games on my phone to distract myself, checking every few seconds for a reply. Nothing. The silence became unbearable. Since I was underground, I couldn't hear anything from the floors above. No announcements, no footsteps, no voices, just silence. After about 20 minutes, I heard something. The basement door opened. The old hinges let out a loud creak that echoed through the corridor. My heart immediately started pounding. Someone was coming downstairs, fast. I heard hurried footsteps descending the staircase. They weren't careful footsteps either. Whoever it was seemed to be running. Instinctively, I slid out of my chair and crawled beneath my desk. The footsteps entered the office. Then everything went quiet. I could hear my own breathing. Nothing else. Whoever had entered was standing somewhere in the darkness, waiting, listening. I tried not to move. I tried not to make a sound. Then my phone betrayed me. A text notification chimed through the room. The sound felt deafening. Every muscle in my body locked up. Immediately, I heard movement. The footsteps began approaching my desk. Slowly, deliberately. I was convinced I was about to die. Unable to handle the suspense any longer, I suddenly crawled out from beneath the desk with my hands raised. I started blurting out whatever came to mind. Please don't hurt me. Before I could say anything else, someone grabbed my arm. I nearly screamed. The person quickly whispered, "Relax, relax. I'm hiding too." It was a man I had never seen before. He looked to be in his 40s. Baseball cap, dark jacket, jeans, completely ordinary, which somehow made the situation even stranger. The man glanced around nervously. "Is there another exit down here?" he asked. I pointed toward a service hallway leading to an exterior door. Then I finally asked the obvious question. "Who are you?" He hesitated, just for a second. Then he answered, "My daughter goes here. I came to pick her up and got caught inside when they announced the lockdown." The explanation sounded reasonable, at least at first. Before I could respond, I looked down at my phone. The text message that had exposed my location was from Ryan. The message read, "Stay hidden. Armed suspect in the building. Police say male wearing dark jacket and baseball cap." I felt every ounce of blood drain from my face. Slowly, I looked back up. The man was staring directly at me. He must have noticed the change in my expression. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then something shifted in his face. The friendly act vanished. That's when I ran. I bolted toward the stairwell without thinking. Behind me, I heard shouting. Then came a loud crack. A gunshot. The sound exploded through the basement. Something metallic nearby rang as the bullet struck it. I didn't stop running. I flew up the stairs faster than I've ever moved in my life. As soon as I burst through the door at the top, I saw police officers positioned throughout the hallway. I screamed that the man was downstairs. Several officers immediately rushed past me toward the basement. The suspect never made it far. Police intercepted him moments later when he attempted to leave through the lower exit. The entire situation was over within minutes. Later, investigators determined that the man had entered the school searching for a specific staff member. Thankfully, nobody was killed. One employee had been injured earlier in the incident, but survived. The details that followed never became completely public. The school administration kept most of the information private. What mattered was that everyone made it home safely. I eventually returned to work after a few days. The office looked exactly the same. The desk hadn't moved. The refrigerator still hummed in the corner. Everything appeared normal, but it never felt normal again. Even now, years later, I still remember the sound of that basement door opening and those footsteps coming down the stairs. And every time my phone notification goes off unexpectedly in a quiet room, part of me is instantly transported back to that dark basement, hiding under a desk and wondering if I was about to die.